No, I was just saying I'm not fancy like Adam.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Inside the Birds TV. Adam Caplan, Geoff Mosher. And look, Super Bowl Sunday is pretty much here, and it's the favorite time of the year for a lot of people who like to lose their money. No, like to put their money down on those wonderful prop bets. And we thought, who better to bring in to discuss the Super Bowl, the prop bets, than the guru, John Hansen from fantasypoints.com. And before we even get started, I mentioned it the last time you were on with us, Guru, is that you helped me with a preseason prop, which was a futures bet on Jonathan Taylor of the Colts. You said it was so easy money, 700 yards, over under was 700.5. I put money on the over, and you made me a winner. So I'm telling our viewers right now, this is your domain, man. You're the master of it.
Thank you. Thank you, Geoff. Good to be here. What's up, Adam? And, that one there, as easy of a win as it was down the stretch, it wasn't looking good for like 3 months. So I'll tell you what, these people who set these lines are unbelievable. They do know how to suck us in a little bit, a little bait and switch a little bit. And I can't tell you how many times I see a number and I go, oh, well, let me go look at my number, because they've got 68.5 and I'm like, oh, I've got 69. You know what I mean? Like it's like a yard away. But I had actually enlisted a guy to look at all my projections, compare and contrast to the props, and come up with the biggest discrepancies. And then I would pick my favorite bets from the discrepancies, which is pretty good.
Well, you do your homework. We're not going to deny that. That's why we're bringing you back here for this Super Bowl gambling/prop edition. Of course, let everybody know that Inside the Birds is sponsored by DraftKings. Download the top-rated DraftKings app right now and use the promo code ITB to get all of your sign-up bonuses. That's promo code ITB to get all of your sign-up bonuses with the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app. So there's so many different ways we can go with this, Guru. Why don't we start just the traditional line total? What are your thoughts right now on the spread, which I believe was 3.5 in favor of, last I checked on DraftKings, or 3. The Chiefs are favored by 3 with an over under of 56.
Well, that half a point though. I mean, that thing that's everything really. I'm going to take a look here at some odds. So yeah, that's been bet down that number a little bit. I still will go Tampa Bay. That's been my pick. I did pick Tampa Bay before the playoffs to make it to the game. I actually picked KC Tampa Bay before the playoffs. So I did predict that Tampa would beat Green Bay in Green Bay and New Orleans in New Orleans. So I'm not going to quit now, though it's going to be a really, really close game, I believe. I think it'll be decided on an unpredictable thing, like a kick return or something like that, a scoop and score or something like that, but really, really close. Boy, I would really love though to get that half a point though, and I feel a lot better about taking Tampa plus 3.5 than Tampa plus 3.
How much of a issue, because we know the game's in their home stadium, first time ever we've had that. Does it matter to you? How much does that really matter? Because as we know, the Chiefs destroyed them in Tampa earlier this season.
Yeah, I think it matters to the players, Adam, as you know, that they're happy. They're like, wow, this is great. Sleep in our own beds.
Yep.
I used to always have that running joke about Big Ben, playing at home. Remember, like, man, he loves that pillow. Boy, that pillow at home, man, it's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, the home runs, the home road splits with him. Yes.
Right. So all the Bucs are going to be home on their normal pillows, and I think that probably helps a little bit. I mean, it's not a huge element, but it does help, I think.
How about the 56? That number almost seems too inviting, and I'm almost suspicious of it because it screams over. But then you think about all the injuries on the offensive line for the Chiefs, the Bucs getting Vita Vea and Winfield back, and then you think, well, maybe this might be a little bit more of a defensive battle. Certainly not 10-9, but that you would ordinarily expect with these two teams.
No doubt about it, and that's why this game is so hard to call, because all kinds of firepower on both sides on offense, but also really, really talented defenses. I think Tampa's got a little bit of an edge on talent, but the way that Stevie Spagnuolo is coaching them up and, scheming things and getting pressure and all that, I think, and playing really well in the back end, I don't have a strong position on it, which means I'm either going to fade it or I'm with you. I'm going to go with the under on that. I'll probably just fade it because I haven't arrived at a comfort level in terms of, I don't want to go under. It just seems like I can't. I mean, I'm a fantasy guy.
Yeah.
You know, I can't go under. It's just not in my DNA, and I'm not exactly feeling the over, so I'm just going to leave it alone.
Maybe a good choice real quick would be to move that total to something like 51, 52, and then take the over on it. Well, you get less of a
that I would feel
back, but yeah, you get a little bit more assurance.
Yeah, straight up, you know, I'm probably going to let it go, but if I could, you know, toy with it and, you know, add another game or pick into the mix, something like that, odds, whatever, maybe so. I do think it's going to probably be right around this number. Honestly, I see it being fairly low scoring with no team over 30 and both teams like in that, you know, mid 20 range.
John, you know what? I was going through a DraftKings Sportsbook and looking at the player props, and I've never done this with these props. You know, once a year I get into this stuff for the Super Bowl. I actually may do some defensive ones. Now, work with me here. Here's what I found. Now, we know that the Bucs guard Alex Kappa broke his ankle. He's out. That Aaron Stinney is going to start from. Greg Cosell told us he did play well though. But now you've got that chief defensive line. You got Frank Clark, and you got Chris Jones, who's going to play inside. The prop over half a sack is plus 125. What do you guys think about that?
For
Jones?
For Jones, over half a sack.
Sure.
If he gets one, it's 125 to 100. I mean 100 to 125.
Yeah, that's not bad. Right? Certainly Brady, you know, he obviously gets rid of the football, but you know, Spagnuolo knows how to get to Brady.
He's not good against the blitz this year. You know that? He's 27th against the blitz.
And guess what? And they'll blitz. They know that. They'll, you know, basically it's like Brady's kryptonite. And, you know, again, I know this and I worry about my pick of Tampa, but Brady's kryptonite is, can you pressure him with 4 and play man-to-man coverage on the back end there and blitz? And they'll do all that. Spagnuolo will do all that for KC. So yeah, I would go over there.
All right, 2 guys I want to get your opinion on from a numerical standpoint here, both on one on each. Leonard Fournette on DraftKings rushing over under 48.5. Kind of like the over on that. Wanted to get your opinion just because he's had a very good playoff run so far.
Well, yeah, Leonard has been a little bit of a bane in my fantasy existence and all that. And also, you know, what really makes it worse is you have 2 guys, and I call them both anti-Gurites. Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones. And when I don't like you, it's because you're pretty good and I give you love, but then you're also, you know, you go to the dark side sometimes and you're not really consistent. But I think you have to look at Leonard for sure. I mean, he's kind of taken over. He has 18 plus fantasy points, 74 plus total yards in 3 straight playoff games, you know, and I think in terms of his prop, I'll do that. I'm fine with that one, but I kind of like the total yardage as a safer play. 78.5.
Oh, I see. Because he catches the ball.
Yeah. Exactly. And by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but Scotty Miller, that touchdown in the NFC title game, that touchdown doesn't happen without Leonard Fournette because Gronk actually badly missed a block, and Brady was going to get creamed as he waits for Scotty to get open downfield. But Leonard stepped in there, slid over, and picked up the rusher. And again, that play doesn't happen without Leonard. Not only that, Ronald Jones's hands are literally made of stone. So I think you're looking at Fournette catching at least 4 balls.
So you like over 78.5 total yardage?
Yes, I think you're probably going to get, you know, 40 to 50 yards rushing minimum. And again, 3 to 4 grabs, you know, at like 30 right there. So, I mean, it might be tight, might be close, but yeah, I absolutely like Leonard Fournette to get over 78.5. Now, again, the scary thing is Ronald Jones is lurking and he's talented and he could always pop off a big play, but I'm just not feeling it. Like if you're Bruce Arians and that coaching staff right now, you're looking at Leonard, right? I mean, you're trusting Leonard.
Ronald Jones over 37.5. He's off the injury report with a quadriceps injury. We know he breaks off big runs. What are your thoughts on him?
Well, again, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't with Ronald. I will tell you what I have him projected for.
All right.
Completely objective. Last week, by the way, I lost a prop with Jones in the NFC title game. I said, I think he's going to get 10 carries. The number was 36. I'm like, I believe he's getting 10. So he'll get 36. He got 10 and he didn't get 36. He got like 16. But I do have him with 11 carries for 46.
Okay.
So his number is what, 36?
37 and a half.
It's not bad. I mean, that's a decent discrepancy right there. I'd feel a little more comfortable if it was like 12, 13 yards over. It's not bad. If I felt like I got to play as many as I can for the excitement, I'll probably throw Ronald Jones in there, but he's not going to make it into my like top 5 or top 7 props for, all the players for the game.
Well, the other guy from the Chiefs that Adam and I were talking about with an inviting prop was Travis Kelce on DraftKings. He's 94 and a half receiving yards. And my rule is usually like, if you can get Travis Kelce under 100, take it. And at 94 and a half, I like that.
Well, he has 8 catches in 9 of his last 10 games. It's absolutely ridiculous. And by the way, 7+ in all 10 of those games. A ridiculous 114 receiving yards per game. I mean, it's insane. 9. I don't think I've never seen this.
John, he's plus 110 at over 8.5.
I mean, I'm probably going to leave that alone. I mean, that's just, right. I mean, you're talking 9 grabs.
I know. That's a little high for me.
That's a little high. The matchup's pretty good. I mean, Tampa's given up the 10th most fantasy points to tight ends in the regular season. He did catch all 8 of his targets for 82. See, that's the fear. He has an 8 for 82 day. And you're like, oh, come on, Travis. Right. You can't do better than 8 for 82. Normally that's like a season best game for most tight ends. I'm probably going to leave that one alone. It's pretty massive here, but if I did want to play it, just like Ronald Jones, I'm going over on all of them.
And the weather, guys, the weather is completely cleared up for the entire game. No more than a 20% chance of rain. So let's hope that stays.
Yeah. And Adam, you and I were talking about this on the radio. It's like, if I'm Todd Bowles, I just completely copy everything that Belichick does against this offense. Now, granted, they still do well, but they do somewhat limit the Chief offense here. And how do they do it? Well, they find ways to double Kelce and Tyreek. So my thing is, okay, who is going to make them pay when they do that? And I'd probably have to look at Hardman. I know Sammy's another anti-guru, right? I mean, the guy drives me nuts, but I mean, come on, guys. Mecole Hardman's got to get 29 yards.
Well, 2.5. His over 2.5 catches is plus 115.
I like that.
That's
I like that.
All right.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I mean, and by the way, Demarcus Robinson, now granted, Hardman only had 3 for 23 on 5 targets in week 12, but where the heck has Demarcus Robinson been? He's been losing snaps to Pringle.
Yeah, and he's on the COVID list, so he needs to get cleared. But
yeah,
they're heavy. They're like 70% free wide receiver team. Oh, here's one, guys. What do you guys think about Cameron Brate in this game?
I think he may actually be, if you look at the numbers, DraftKings and I think everyone else, there's really no differentiation between him and Gronk. Like the numbers are the same. Like he's like right there with Gronk. He's got 10 grabs on 17 targets in the playoffs. Gronkowski has run 10 more routes than Brate in the postseason, but he's not really doing crap here. 2 grabs for 43 on 10 fewer targets. Gronk has 2 or fewer catches in 5 straight and in 9 of 11 games since Antonio Brown joined the team. So it just seems like A, Gronk is blocking more, and B, Brown has hurt him from literally 2 months ago, yet Brate seems kind of insulated from that. So I'm going to go over on pretty much any Brate prop here, Adam.
How about Scotty Miller over 1.5 catches at plus 130? I know he's not a possession receiver, but he's kind of been Tom's guy on a few 3rd and mediums, 3rd and shorts, and you feel like they'll be in enough of those situations where you might see that.
I think that may be one where, I mean, look, it could obviously happen, but I don't know if I don't trust it. Adam, with Antonio Brown potentially back, I'm not totally sold.
Oh, AB's back. Forget about it. Now, if for some reason Antonio Brown is inactive, now right now it's over 1.5 for plus 130.
Yeah,
I agree with Geoff. 100%. If Antonio Brown's not playing, obviously the line will move probably to 3 or 4. They'll have to double his receptions. Yeah, I'm with you. So far, John, to summarize, you like Fournette with the combined yardage, correct?
Yes. Yeah. That's the safer bet, I think.
Okay. Are you sort of like Mecole Hardman over 2.5 if Robinson's out?
Yeah, no, and I also like Hardman over 28.5 receiving yards. I like that more, actually. I mean, 28.5. Come on now.
Oh, yeah, right. He's a big play guy. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think you like the Kelsey yards, maybe not the catches, but the yards. You thought over 94 is pretty.
I think that's fair. Yes. The catch total scares me a little bit, but the yardage one I can sign off on. I also like, as we kind of bounce around a little, Mike Evans. I kind of like both, actually. The number is only 4.5 catches and over 63.5 yards. Mike Evans has been, more of the downfield threat than Chris Godwin. So I think when Evans, I actually do have him with 4.5, which is right there, obviously, but I do have him with over 70 yards, 72 yards. So that's a decent enough discrepancy for me, but he's averaging 17 yards a catch last 4 games here. And, obviously that's the playoffs. So 17 yards a catch in the playoffs. I mean, Brashad Breeland and Ward are solid, sizable corners, but I mean, they're not even remotely close to shutdown guys.
Correct.
So I think we look at Evans here as a solid play as well. 63.5. He'll get 64. I feel pretty good about that.
Guru, are you into any novelty props? Do you at all look at those coin toss things?
3 years ago, boy, I was feeling tails, man. I mean, I was feeling it in my
I bet
gut.
you were feeling tails.
I did. I was coming.
Yeah. No, exactly. I made a joke at it. I was like, you know what? I love tail. So I'm going to go with tails. And it worked. But I do like the national anthem to go over. I think it's 1 minute and 58 seconds. I have analysis. It's a duet. It is a woman of color and a white guy. A little racial unity here. Let's draw it out. You know what I mean? And they're going over. I mean, I felt really strongly about Gladys Knight going over, and I was worried, but it happened in that Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Yeah. Other than that, I'm not a weekend guy, although I do love Sundays. I'm not real familiar with the halftime act the weekend. I don't know if
I rarely watch them. Even when I'm at the game, I'm doing other stuff. Here's a question for you, because you've been on the Bucks. I got to give you credit. You're the only person I really know that went with the Bucks the entire way. I mean, if you like them this much and they are playing in their home stadium, why wouldn't you take them on the money line, right? Plus 140.
Yeah.
Take the points.
Yeah, that's true too. That's very, very true. It's just because it's so close I don't have I think it's a pick 'em. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a pick 'em, right? I mean, so I'm going to go with Tampa with the pointage. So I probably want to stay with the points here because I just think this thing. I mean, I can't think of a more evenly matched game. I mean, normally I have like a couple of angles. I mean, I got really nothing here. I think it's just going to come down to execution and who makes the fewer mistakes. I think also the injuries at the offensive tackle spots for obviously the lack of starters there with both starters out. I know Mitchell Schwartz has been out for a while, but I mean, that's probably going to be the deciding factor in this game with JPP and Shaq Barrett heating up. Mahomes has that second reaction ability and all that, but he's not exactly healthy. The toe is feeling good. But I think it comes down to both teams' ability to protect their passers. And I think actually for Tampa, back to the Fournette thing, I think it's pretty important for them to stay balanced. It just feels like that's been a thing for them to have that balance. I know it's like a cliche, establish the run and all that, but when your quarterback's 43, when he doesn't have great second reaction ability, it probably is nice and wise to make a concerted effort to have that balance, keep the defense a little off guard. KC, they just sling the ball over the place. So I do think they'll be balanced there for Tampa. Now we're relying on Leonard and Ronald Jones, which is a little scary. So at the end of the day, I'm still going to have to lean on getting some pointage here with my Buck pick.
What is your yards projection for Mike Evans? I'm curious.
72.
Oh, that high, huh?
Because there's a great parlay. If you like the Bucks to win, or at least with the points, Mike Evans, 75 yards and a Bucks win is plus 375 on DraftKings.
I mean, that's pretty nice.
That is, yeah, that's pretty. And Godwin, what's your projection on Godwin?
82.
He's plus 300 for 75 yards and a win.
Wow.
So that's some pretty good player props there if you're really, confident in the part about that.
We got to go to fantasypoints.com. We got to link this up to the DraftKings numbers and see where the value is from John's projections. Very nice.
Oh yeah, we're gonna actually. It's funny you say that. We're building a tool that's going to automate all that.
Boom.
It's going to be constantly updated, and it will compare and contrast our up-to-date projections, and I'll update them constantly. So it'll be like a thing that happens in real time, based on the odds and my numbers. But yeah, Godwin's averaging 9 targets a game in the playoffs, just under 5 grabs. Now the hands have failed him a little bit, but he's at 18.7 yards catch. Granted, a lot of that is that 50-yard grab, but as you know, Adam, I've always been a huge Godwin guy. He's a straight up baller. I mean, great player.
Right. From
Philly,
Delaware, right?
Delaware.
Is he in Delaware? Right. Yeah. What town? Do you know?
Penn State. That was where I was really getting at. But
right.
Penn State. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I believe he's from Middletown, Delaware. I have to go check somewhere in Delaware. Yeah.
Now, did you work for the Daily Collegian over there at Penn State? I'm sure you did.
I did work for the Daily Collegian as well as the News Journal in Wilmington, Delaware.
Nice. Well, our guys over at Fantasy Points, Joe Dolan and Tom Brawley, both former sports editors of the Daily Collegian over there.
Oh, good. I was as well. No, you got good ones.
There you go.
All right. Excellent. All right. Before we let you go, your favorite overall bet in this game is what?
Mecole Hardman.
Over
29 yards.
On the yards, 29.
29 yards. I mean, I know he's volatile. I know there's no rhyme or reason, but the attention that Tyreek Hill is going to command, plus Kelsey, has got to open up opportunity.
A big play.
Big time. I mean, come on now. He can just get a quick screen and get this. So,
but what if it's an end around? It doesn't count as a pass. See, that's the problem.
Yeah. Well, he'll get that too. I'm sure he'll get one of those.
Maybe total yards. Maybe we'll just get total yards.
But how about the little shovel? That is
right. Well, that would technically count. Yes.
There you go.
All right. That's why you're the guru. Now, what can our listeners and our viewers, what can they get at fantasypoints.com if they head over there right now?
Actually, they can get into our free prop contest that costs nothing to join, no credit card, just sign up for a free account and answer 37 questions on props. Now they're weighted questions. So if you pick of the multiple choice answers, the riskiest one, like who leads the Bucks in rushing? If you pick Fournette, you get 1 point, but if you pick Ronald Jones, you get 2 points. So we have 37 questions in the questionnaire, and each answer has a point value assigned to it. The most points wins. And if you finish in the top 10, you can get a free subscription. No purchase necessary, all that crap. And plenty of free articles and content over there. You should get a free account just to have it. And, we'll push out a bunch of free articles. You'll be able to log right in there with no purchase necessary.
Nice. Absolutely. Great deal. Love it. Love having you on. Really appreciate the time. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you again down the road.
You got it, guys.
Thank you.
All right. That's the guru, John Hansen from fantasypoints.com. You've been watching Inside the Birds TV. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. Enjoy the big game. We'll talk to you again soon when we catch you on the next edition of ITB TV.